first. Easy.
Failure. All right, so I mean, it's a contradiction, right? We say failure is not an option.
It's not.
Right? But we also say that it's encouraged to fail hard and often. So I'll say experience is the greatest teacher in my experience. However, a part of me feels like failure is mandatory. I feel like it just kind of gives you like a sense of desperation to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And so you have people like Will Smith or like your Damon Dash who are like very successful, and you know they say these things and people take it as gospel. A lot of times it's definitely it's different to speak on something from a place of success than it is of aspiration.
Exactly.
Right? If you got a lot of money, you've done it. Right? The credibility is there. Right? If you're there, then what you're saying must be what you did, and it must be right because you're here. Right? And so a lot of times they're preaching fail hard and fail often. Right? But it doesn't seem like, with experience, it doesn't seem to be like the thing, because you don't want to fail at all, right? The point isn't to fail at all, right? But I mean, it seems to happen. So like, what are we clinging to?
I honestly feel like whichever man or woman,
inclusive.
Oh, I get shot out here.
Yeah.
Coined that term way back in history.
Which one?
Failure is not
an option. Plan A.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's no plan B.
There is no
A.
plan B.
I think they defined failure in a long-term sense of how they individually defined it.
Okay.
Failure long-term.
Okay.
In life.
Okay.
Is not an option. As far as fail often, fail early, I 100% champion that.
Okay.
Like throughout my life, I've had probably like 10 different jobs.
Yeah.
And if you want to define,
You're also Jamaican.
Yeah.
That is Jamaican thing.
Okay.
He didn't say at the same time.
I'm just saying.
But he probably meant it.
It
was implied.
Point of clarification.
It was implied.
But I left each one of those jobs, and I didn't go off to have like this big career in the job and ascend to the CEO of each company. But I ended each job, and whether I was fired or I quit, you could have defined that as a failure. You know what I'm saying? But if you define failure as you just stopping something, then that's just poor definition. You know what I'm saying? Failure as far as learning different skills. If you try 10 jobs and you quit all of them, but you learn 10 different
is that really
skills
failure?
And attributes from each experience that you failed out of.
Right.
Is it really failure? That makes you more
sure.
marketable to ascend to another position. You know what I'm saying? So the whole concept of fail early and fail often, I think that's what it speaks to.
Okay.
Experience producing growth in you as a person from a skill set, from a maturity standpoint and experience standpoint. So I champion that. Fail early, fail often. Try as much shit as you can early because it would just make you more just marketable in general as a person.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you basically said it. The main point in fail early, fail often is you tried. You are trying. Instead of never even getting out of bed to even attempt your dreams, you're going like, I'm going for this. I don't care about the outcome. At least I can say at the end of the day, I tried to do it. You gave it a shot.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with the fail early, fail option.
Okay.
I think the failure, like when I heard the failure is not an option, I always felt like it always applied to like those ultimatums with like war and all them. So failure is not an option because there is
die.
Take his ass out.
Failure ain't an option. I understand.
Right. And so like I was watching a podcast, another podcast a few weeks ago, and it was a guy, Arian Foster. He's
Doesn't he have a podcast?
He has a podcast. Yeah, his podcast. It's pretty dope. Now what podcast? He has some pretty dope discussion. But he was talking about how, him growing up, he was really poor, and he tried to figure. Of course, that's always a story. NFL athlete, pro ball, all that, whatever. Niggas be poor. But he was talking about how what helped him really get to where he got. I like that. Get to where he got. Is basically his relentless desperation of this is what I have and it has to work. Like there is no other option. It has to work. And so that's an instance where I would say failure is not an option. Would be will be relevant or will be appropriate.
You have all your eggs in one basket.
One basket, and it just gotta work.
Ill-advised, but it happens.
It happens, right? It happens.
It
happens.
But see, I agree with that completely. Like, this trip failed multiple times and keep trying and all that. Fuck that. Like, if I don't feel, seriously, if I do not feel like I'm going to be able to accomplish something or I plan something and that motherfucker's not working, I'm not doing it.
It is.
I'm revamping it and I'm going to find some shit that works.
Okay.
I'm not going to keep trying or I'm going to have 5 different plans and I'm going to do plan A don't work, I'm going to go to B don't work, I'm going to go to C. I don't have time for that. Like, I don't, like, fuck that. Because what I'm saying, what I feel like is what I'm telling myself when I have to come up with 5 different plans, I'm not secure or confident in that first one.
Okay.
So I need to find me a plan that I know I can do, I can succeed, and I can knock that motherfucker out the water, and that's going to get me where I want to be at.
It's like a prenup. But so I'll mention that.
But if that plan don't work, though, what do? Just quit on life?
Yo, just keep finding the next step.
Okay,
but then
That's not plan B.
We just said that same thing.
Hell no.
We just said
Again, I'm not
That's
saying,
what I'm asking.
I'm not going with the plan that's not gonna work though.
So Rob,
that's what I'm saying.
Nobody ever knows their plan is not going to work when they start a
No,
plan, though.
So Red,
Otherwise, you wouldn't have started the plan.
Sometimes,
If I know a plan ain't going in, I'm throwing it out before.
No, I feel like sometimes you look at your plans and be like, this could probably use some tweaking, but we gonna try, and if that one don't work, I'm gonna go to plan B. Like, no, I'm going to perfect plan A until plan A, like, nobody's getting in the way of that, nothing is moving, like, nothing's gonna shift that shit.
I disagree on that one. I feel like
That's my personal, philosophy.
I feel like sometimes we try to paint the world as this magical places, and that if I put these string of words together, make a nice little metaphor, analogy, that shit's gonna magically happen and shit's gonna be magically
perfect. That's not magic. That doesn't mean I'm not working. It's not magic.
Let me finish though. Like, I feel like we kind of get attached to these words and sayings that say, hey, if you dream, it will believe. Like, you'll believe, but people fail. That's part of life. You growing up your whole life, if the first thing that popped into your head and you said, I want to do that, I want to be that, did you do that?
No, but I was also a kid.
But how many times?
I live my life now.
But you see how often your mind changes, how often you have different goals in life. So I feel like
that's different than me saying I'm going to accomplish this and that's it, and I'm sticking with that.
That's why
versus me being a kid and
I'm going to be a DJ. I'm going to follow my ass many freaking times. I'm still going to be a DJ at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do this event over here.
Yeah.
It didn't work. I tried to do I Talk to Strangers whole tour thing. That didn't work. I'm still going to be a DJ. I'm going to go on to the next level. I got something else with USA Track and Field. And I'm still building up from there.
Right.
If these things fall,
but
at the end of the day, you're still going to be a DJ.
Exactly.
But let's clarify that.
But what you're saying is you're failing.
Ooh, that's
You're failing early, and you fail often. But you're still going. You're trying.
So your path has not changed.
Exactly.
So your plan, you have failed at different plans along that path, and once that shit has hit rock bottom, I know that's what I'm trying to tell. That's what I'm trying to explain. Once you're on a path, that's different than a plan and a failure in a plan and a re-strategize because that plan didn't work out. But I'm still on the same path trying to do what I want to do. We're just tweaking the way we're going about doing it. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to fail on your path, do what the fuck you're going to do. Fail and adjust, but you still doing what you want to do.
Exactly.
But that's what I was talking about.
What I'm saying. I'm not tweaking a motherfucking thing.
So you would have rolled down.
I'm not tweaking a motherfucking thing.
She would have been on the tour. She would still been on I Talk Strangers. So you would have found a way to get the sponsorship.
We would have got that tour together.
It sounds like they both apply, to be honest,
man. That's what I mean, though.
So
don't change the dream.
I think
it kind of
comes back to how you started, DG, bro. I think we've kind of defined failure in all of these things that we're talking about. Yeah. Whether we're talking about a plan or a path, right? When one seems to be long term, one seems to be short term, and I feel like you can have one inside of the other, and so you can have failures within your success, and it not be considered a failure.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so part of me wants to bring up the fact that the reason that some people say failure is not an option is because they don't have the resources or the opportunities to have other options, right? And so like their option is the option. So like, for example, Arian Foster, if his only option was to be a football player and if that didn't work, he was going to be trash, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that means. Maybe ultimately like failure was the thing for him. But let's say he had failed at becoming a football player. He would have done something else, right? Whether that be sell drugs or become a pimp.
To me, failure is not an option means never give up. That's what it means to me.
Okay.
Failure will always come often.
Yeah.
But failure is not an option means I will not quit.
So that is that playoff. The only way you can fail is if you quit.
Exactly.
That playoff.
That's it.
Throw that bitch in there.
I internalized after the discussion what those phrases mean to me. Failure is not an option. Is just saying that you will lose if you stray from the path that you want to go to.
Okay.
That's the path. Stick to the path that you want to be on.
Okay.
The fail often and fail early is to try as much shit as possible to ensure that you don't get off that path.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So fail early and often is in reference to the steps leading up to the failure is not an option outcome. That's really how I see it.
I helps with it.
You ready?